All right, and we bring you to you the top. Well, I'm going to bring to you the top 14 albums of the year, and
I'm gonna be ringing like 10, and you
yes,
want to know why? It's not really that interesting the story. It's just because I just wanted 10. I couldn't really like. We were talking, and basically I don't feel like any more albums were worthy, so I just thought, yeah, 10 top 10 list for me.
yeah. So I'm sorry if your favorite album is not up on this list or not on our list over here. I'm sorry, I don't have a chance to listen to everything throughout the whole year.
I'm
You
not
know,
sorry. I think I can do whatever I want. If I want to make a list and I want to include Bon Jovi, an album that I did in the '80s on this list, I can because it's my list. But
all
yeah,
right. Anyways, there's gonna be one album that you're gonna find absence from this list, and I know like people are gonna ask me, why is this album not on here? You know, and that's Behemoth the Satanist. I'm sorry, but the album's a good album. Don't get me wrong, the album's good, but there's absolutely no memorable riffs on there. It was way overproduced. It's way too clean sounding. It's just so much stuff wrong. And the first time I listened to it, I thought it was just okay at best. And then I listened to it again and a few more times. And I listened to it just recently, just to double check to make sure. I was like, okay, maybe I just wasn't in the mood for it. And I just listened to it recently, and I still feel the exact same way about it. So, hey, if you want to go and write hate comments right now telling me, I'm wrong and blah, 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 go for it. Go for it.
same here with me
But
because I hold the same opinion. I didn't think that there was any riffs that were catchy or even yeah, both having drinks here. We're allowed to drink as well, it's not alcohol, so but I wish it was. I wouldn't mind getting drunk. But no, I didn't find the album to really hold any just no originality. I mean, it didn't even have to be original in any way, really. It just had to be
yeah,
catchy at
there's
least.
like
Or
new songs. I really found that were really catchy. I mean, on their other previous works, I mean, maybe if you're brand new to Behemoth, maybe I can see you really liking the album. But if you're an old school fan of Behemoth, they have much better work than that.
yeah, Demigod, just one song off that album destroys this whole album that they've just released. So.
Yeah,
Mm.
especially like all their old shit. It's we're not saying the album's bad. It was good, but these albums on my list I feel were a lot more stronger than Behemoth. Now, if I didn't hear a couple of these other albums, yeah, they probably would have been on the list, maybe number 14 or something. But no, I'm sorry. I'm like I said, I'm sorry. But we're gonna move right along since you only have 10. I have 14. Well, technically it's going to be 15 albums, but we'll get to the tie later on when we're sitting there discussing it. Okay, so anyways, starting up, kicking off my list at number 14 is 1349, Massive Cauldron of Chaos. Now,
Ah,
this album, this album from 1349, it literally it's pretty much more the same from 1349. Their last album I feel was far better, and had more kind of diversity on it. This album, they literally Frost could have just laid down a blast beat for the whole thing, and that's basically it. Now the guitar works really good, vocals are really good, and it's an all around. It's a good album, but it almost didn't make the list. Almost, but there is some good parts with the album. So, and 1349 is fucking awesome. So, I actually thought I'd put him at 13 or 1349, but I got thinking about it and re-listened to a few albums. So, yeah, they're staying it there. Okay, number 13 comes off with a band that actually got my honorable mentions the last time they put out an album. This time they're going to be at number 13. That is Cannibal Corpse with A Skeleton Domain. Now, the album actually sounds like they're trying to do something a little bit different. Like they're almost like trying to take it back to basics with this album. But it still has very technical parts. very catchy songs, as Cannibal Corpse is known for. And actually, I seen them literally the day the album came out. I seen them. They played a couple songs from there. The songs were killer live. Killer set list. But that's what it is. But definitely worthy of being on this list. I think it's definitely better than the last album. Don't feel like it's definitely not far even their top best album.
Well, it's Cannibal Corpse. They're just one of these bands that will still release heavy shit, but I don't think they'll ever beat their Tomb of the Mutilated, The Bleeding, Butchered at Birth. I don't think they'll ever beat them out.
Suicide. The list is literally endless, but it's still a good album, and they've been doing death metal for too fucking long. Then they're still able to crank out some good shit. So hey, whatever. All right, next up is Exodus, Blood In, Blood Out. Now this album, it was awesome, and I really felt like Slayer has really kind of rubbed off on him, because there's a lot of songs in there that have a very Slayerish type sound to it. And I love me some Slayer. So I think this is a really awesome album. I know this album's absent from a lot of people's lists. Some people it's on their list, some people it's not. I feel like it's a good album from start to finish. I really enjoyed the album.
I listened to it, and I think Kirk Hammett made an appearance in one of their songs, actually. I'm not sure which one that was now, but
I think it's track 4. I think no.
But my opinion on it was because I liked the Shovel-Headed Kill Machine album and Exhibit A and B. I like them ones with that vocalist. I don't know his name actually. Yeah. I liked their other vocalist because they changed vocalist again.
I do like the other vocalist. The other vocalist a little bit better. But...
And that's why I didn't like this album that much. Is I don't like the vocalist. I just find that his vocals put me off, and that's not a bad thing for people who like it, because if you like it, then that's fine. But me personally, the vocals, I can't deal with it. I can't tolerate them. It's just me as a person, I just don't like the sound of it. But the album was okay. It was a decent fresh release. It's much better than anything Metallica have been releasing anyway. So.
All right, if we're going to Metallica fucking hate binge over here, we're right on to the next one. Okay. Next one for me, number 11. This comes out of a fucking band, a fucking awesome brutal death metal band. Awesome, and you actually see a lot of brutal death metal in this list, because there's been a lot of good brutal death metal albums that have come on this year. And this album, definitely fucking awesome. And that's Hideous Divinity with Cobra Verta. Fucking awesome. Try. Awesome fucking album, start to finish. Amazing brutal death metal.
I never actually properly listened to it. I don't think I could get hold of it. That's what it was, because you were telling me about this album, but I couldn't. That was one of the ones that I couldn't get hold of, and unfortunately, I couldn't listen to it. So.
And this album's actually number. I forgot which number. I think number 2 or 3 on Alex's top 10 albums of the year. Actually, this album made it on there. It was like number 2, number 3 for Alex Webster from Cannibal Corpse. So. If he approves of it,
if he approves of it, I mean,
that's a pretty good album.
He's like one of the best bassists, and
one of, next to the bassist from Dust Coats. All right, he's kind of annihilates somebody. Anyways, moving right along. Okay, now you can start with your number 10.
All right, so I'm starting now, and the screen's not in place. It's in place now. The screen went funny then, and it basically was upwards, and it wouldn't move back into place. It's alright, it's not a problem. So I'm just looking at my list here. So yeah, number 10 for me was Job for a Cowboy, Sun Eater, and the reason why I put that, and that probably would have been higher if I'd listened to it more, but I didn't get a chance to listen to it as much as I hoped, and I wanted to put it on the list because I just thought that from what I did hear of it, it was a very good progressive album, and what their changes and how much they improved as a band technically, and just everything. Because this band, and people might like comment and give me some hate here, but this band was fucking shit when they first came out, in my opinion. Anyway, I really didn't like
Yeah,
their.
they really have changed their sound over the years. Personally, I haven't listened to this album, so I can't comment on anything about it. Uh,
It was really good, honestly. You would. This is not the same. The screens move the game. I'm getting sick of this. Stop moving, screen. But I really liked what they did, because this is a band that, for some reason, keep making these great changes, and they keep trying new things, and you know, the screen's finally back in place. I apologise to anyone who's watching this video, but yeah, they are definitely trying and going outside this area, because a lot of people, think a lot of people stick to the same thing they're doing, because a lot of fans, they think, will go off them, and then they don't want to lose a fan base. In a way, they want to kind of please their fans, but they're not. They're thinking for themselves, and they're thinking, we're gonna make some progression here. We're gonna try something, you know, that actually suits our skills, because they are skillful now, and they can do much better stuff than doing.
they're actually really cool guys in real life. I personally met them a few times. They're really fucking cool guys. You know, I had a few drinks with them. They're really cool. They're really cool guys. You know, to hang out with. You know, we talked about metal for hours. You know,
Yeah, that
both times. So they're really cool. So that's one thing I definitely can say about them.
good guys, good musicians, and at first, like because when I was in school and I was about 15, this band were getting like really famous, and it was when deathcore had really spawned, and everyone was going on about Suicide Silence, Job for a Cowboy, Oceano, Carnifex, Whitechapel, you name it, all these bands, and I really didn't like Job for a Cowboy when they first came out, so I just didn't think they had anything going for them. But now they've proved me wrong, and I hope that they continue what they're doing, and they actually use their talent and skill, because deathcore would have held them back. Now they're going for
It seems like a lot of the bands that really start out being deathcore, they're starting to pull more and more away from that style, you know, and start incorporating and trying to incorporate more death metal style, you know, into their music, you know. So
I think that's because deathcore is dying out now. It was
yeah,
a fad that only lasted for
literally, it's another fad genre. You
that
know, I mean,
lasted
there's still
for
some bands out there that are still doing it, still doing the whole the deathcore thing, but a lot of bands that fucking have moved on and they've actually made a lot of better work, you know.
exactly. I actually liked some deathcore though. I liked Suicide Silence, and I liked Whitechapel and Carnifex. I thought they were good at the time, and I still think Carnifex, you know, and Suicide Silence, I still think they're good now to this day. But there's certain deathcore bands I didn't like, and Job for the Cow.
I just can't stand the ones that use like the pig squeals. Those are the ones
Um,
like like what's the name of that band? Oh, God damn it. They're pretty popular. All shall perish.
oh
I
yeah,
can't fucking stand them. God.
and
I can't stand it just because of the pig squeals and shit like that. I can't stand that shit. But anyways, if you're done, I'm gonna move on to
yeah, because we
number
are
10.
dragging this on a bit here.
Okay. Anyways, my number 10 is Bleeding Corpse with Condemned to Suffer.
Another
This is a
album
fucking
which I
band
couldn't.
I never heard of the band Bleeding Corpse. I just happened to searching through. I was searching up things that I don't remember, Amazon or something like that. Searching up different albums and stuff like that. Seeing what's out, seeing what's new. And this band happened to pop up like a few times. So I said, "Fuck it, I'll check it out." Sure enough, fucking awesome brutal death metal. Intro's fucking epic as hell. The whole album's looking good, straight up brutal as shit. You know, there's no other words to describe it other than it's fucking brutal death metal at
I couldn't.
almost its finest. You
I
know,
couldn't
I
get
think
hold of that
other
album.
band on the list, higher my list, did a much better job, and probably also because I like the other band a lot. So, all right. Anyways, moving right along to the next one on the list.
Yeah, I just want to say I couldn't get hold of that album, that Bleeding Corpse.
Oh yeah,
That was another one. See, if I had probably listened to that, some of these albums probably would have been on the list, but I don't know because I couldn't get hold of it. So I just wanted to mention that, so anyone else who's like watching, because let's say I don't include a certain album that you have, that was probably really good. That's the reason why.
You literally have like two albums from my list that are on yours. So
Yeah.
you know. Anyways, you wanna start off with number
Yeah,
9?
yeah. Okay, so starting number 9, Insomnium, Shadows of the Dying Sun. Now,
It's an album I didn't get around to listening to. I know it's a lot of people's list. Just album I haven't really got a chance to listen to.
well, it's Insomnium, isn't it? It's just another melodic death metal band that everyone loves, and I know why, because they just release songs that stick in your head. And there was a song that stuck into my head off that album that it had replay value when you can just keep playing and playing and playing the song. And if an album can do that, where you can just keep replaying even if it's one song and you can replay that song all day, then that just goes to show. Because I do that if I like a song, I'll just play it with that one song all day, and this has that, and that's why I really liked it. And it's just your typical Insomnium, but they've made some great improvements. There's some like acoustic guitar work building into heavy melodic work, and I like the clean vocals. I think that the aggressive death metal vocals and the clean vocals contrast in a perfect way. It's like they both, even though they are contrasting, they both fit well blended, and I like that.
Like some bands can pull this off. Some bands can't. That's with any clean vocals in any, especially extreme metal band. It's a very thin line to walk. You know. Like sometimes it's just utter garbage, and then sometimes they come up with amazing stuff, like with another band on this list that I have, you know.
But yeah, like it's a solid release. I really liked what they did, and that is why they're number 9. So moving on to your album.
All right, my album from a band that. They're pretty old school, you know. They had a couple other vocalists in this band, you know, coming over from Paradise Lost. Now a lot of people were bitching about the vocals for this album. And I'm like, listen to it. I'm like, have you not heard old school Swedish death metal? Because that's how the vocals were done. I thought this is an amazing comeback record for this band. The band's Bloodbath.
Oh, Bloodbath are just like incredible.
Morbid Funeral album is amazing. You know, I can't stress it enough, and like I said, I really did like the vocals a lot. It was, you know, it was an album I could listen to over and over and over from start to finish. I don't want to skip a single song. You know, every song is amazing.
I listened to that album, and I want to add my view, and I want to explain why it wasn't on my list. There were so many albums that were so good to me that I just couldn't decide. And Bloodbath was very close to being on it, because they just done an old school it felt old school death metal. It put me back in like the late 1980s when it was just coming out. It was just, you know, that sound, that rawness, the guitars, the vocals.
That's the reason. That's the reason why it's number 9 on my list. You know, I couldn't get enough of this album. You know, now I was really debating between this album and another album that's on my list as to, you know, what I'm going to put, you know, who's going to be over top. But I listened to them again a few more times, and, you know, that's how they got my number 9 spot. The album is just truly amazing from start to finish. If you're a fan of old school death metal and you haven't heard this record, please check it out. You know, it's a record I highly, highly, highly recommend. Unless, of course, you don't like death metal. You know, then whatever. Okay. All right, moving right along. Let's go with number 8.
Alright, so number 8, we've got Causus with their album Legion. Now, Causus are a band that I've been listening to since I was 15, and it's like one of the like first heavy, like kind of thrash metal bands that like I got into that was underground, because obviously I was just to Slayer and Megadeth and Metallica's early stuff. Not anything before the Black Album really, because it sucks. After that, some good songs off some of the other albums, but we're not talking about Metallica. I'm going off the topic here. We've got to get relevant stuff in here, because I always do that, and that's the way my mind works.
Yeah, this album, I listened to it, but I couldn't sit down and really like. It was good. It was good from what I heard. It was good, but it's not something I had sink my teeth into. And like I said, it's really good album. It's something I would need more time to listen to. So you're talking about it really, really, really late. So, and I was already kind of compiling my list together, and I'm just like,
I think what it is with this is, I liked it. I thought it was like a very good album, but I do prefer the other albums, and in a way, I was let down in certain ways, because the last album, there was just something more about it, and that they could have done more with this. Like, even though it's thrash metal and it's limited, I know that, I still felt like they didn't add enough in there. They didn't add enough aggression and not enough, guitar solos. I really like their guitar solos. I felt like they lacked a bit in some of that, but it was a very good, solid album, and that's why it's obviously above Insomnia and Job for a Cowboy, because it wouldn't be on this, list, or even higher than them if it was in that good. I'm just pointing out some things that, I was disappointed about in some ways, because the last album, that, I listened the crap into that one when I was 15, and I still listen to it now, and that is one of my favourite thrash metal albums of all time, like up there in some of the, my favourite thrash metal albums. So, that just goes to show. So, if they had made an album like their last one, this would have been at least like at the top of this list, but some bands can't, but it's still done very good. They still released some very good thrash metal, and they're like the Brazilian version of Slayer, and and I just love it. I just love the vocals, because they remind me of Tom's, and they are, that they are just amazing. That he's got one of them distinctive voices, hasn't he, Tom? And he doesn't sound exactly like him, but it's kind of like him, and I just love that. Yeah, but yeah, that's mine. Causus for number 8.
Okay, all right, and my number 8 is from awesome band I'm listening to for a long ass time, and I've had the privilege to actually hang out with these guys. These guys are really cool too, and I actually happen to know like the guitarist. One of the guitarists used to be in the band. I know him. These guys really awesome. Last record was amazing. And especially that song they talk about dubstep and shit. It was awesome. Called "The Origin of Disease" for anybody out there who needs to know. The song is called "The Origin of Disease" by the great almighty Aborted. But we're here to talk about the new record from Aborted. The new record, I felt like they tread into new territory. It was amazing. They've done something new.
Heavy as fuck, that album is.
Yes, exactly. Heavy as fuck also. Yes, most definitely. The new Aborted album is just amazing from start to finish. And like I said, the Bloodbath record is really good, but I really like the Aborted record much more. Had a lot of diversity on the album. So, so what else to say? It's Aborted. Aborted is just one of those bands that just awesome. Every single record from them is awesome. It's amazing. They're an amazing live band. I can't wait. I can't wait to see them again. They're coming around again next year, so can't wait to see them again. Can't wait to fucking hang out with these guys. These guys are so fucking cool. You know, the guys are funny as hell. You meet them in real life, you don't get to hang out with them. They're really cool. I really enjoy it, you know, and that's probably another reason they are my number 8 pick, you know. So let's move right along to number 7.
Yeah, let's move along. Alright, so number, and the screen's gone again. Why does it do this? Go back in place. Alright, so number 7. Another thrash metal band, Revocation, with the album Deathless. I don't know if you listened to this, but it was just...
No, I didn't get around to listening to it.
I don't know what to say about this, other than Revocation released their first album.
Also another cool band to fucking hang out with. I've hung out with these guys before as well. Really cool guys, you know.
Most people, though, aren't they, in metal? And that's, you know, just a great thing to know. Because, I mean, you'll get an odd dickhead, an odd arrogant.
It's crazy. They actually have, like, one of the old bands I was in, they actually have our t-shirt, you know. So it's pretty cool.
That is, yeah.
Pretty cool to know that.
That is.
You know.
But, Revocation, the first and the second album, I listened the shit out of. I just kept listening to that. And they were really good. This doesn't match up to them, but it's a great release. I just love the guitar solos because they're different. Honestly, if you listen to this and it's like a progressive thrash in a way, because there's a lot of change in areas of the music. And then the guitar solo, they have a sound for these guitar solos that are unique, and you have to listen to it because I can't explain it. And I just love that sound that they got going, and pretty much it's just it's original for thrash, because like a lot of thrash bands, as you know, they all go for this being in the mosh pit and just, you know, all that kind of stuff, and they don't really offer anything these days. It's more about, like, you know, you get these generic bands that start off, and I know one that you really like, Lich King, was it?
Oh, fuck them. God damn it.
I know you really like them.
Oh yes, so much. Yes, I want to blow my fucking brains out.
But nah, joking aside, it was a great album, and you definitely listen to it. I can't explain the sound. You just have to listen to it and just trust me on this. And if you don't, then fuck you. You've missed out on something, haven't you? You dumb bastards. All right, I better calm down. I shouldn't be insulting people, should I? Here, but yeah, that's number 7.
All right, now mine comes from another band I've been listening to for a very, very, very long time. And I when I was I was really getting into doing death metal vocals. This is a band that completely blew me away when I first heard them, because his vocals were so fucking low, and it blew my mind. I was like, oh my god, I want to be that low. That is what I want to model myself after. You know, that's first when I was trying to do death metal vocals. You know, I was trying to go for, you know, the Cannibal Corpse or the Glenn Benton style. You know, and then when I heard this band, you know, way back in the day, and of course this new album's fucking amazing too, and it definitely came at a perfect time. Like it was an awesome record, and the band's Incantation with Dirge. You know, it's amazing. This is how death metal should be. This is 100% how death metal should be. It was brutal. It was just awesomeness. Awesome.
Did you want to orgasm, like, when listening to it?
It was awesome. It was an amazing record. And Incantation is just one of those bands who's constantly putting out amazing work. And it's just, if you haven't listened to Incantation, if you're a death metal fan, you haven't listened to Incantation, you're not doing yourself justice.
No, listen to it. I mean, the Metal God got me into Incantation, and I'm a very picky person. He will tell you I don't get into many bands. I'm very selective, and I got into Incantation, so anyone I recommend it to.
I've got quite a few albums from Incantation, you know, and I've actually got a chance to actually talk with them too, you know. really cool guys. You know, I'm trying to help them get them booked to be over here, play over here in Japan because they want to be. You know, they want to come do a show over here, so it'd be cool. But really good record. Highly recommended. You know, definitely almost one of the best death metal records of the year. You know, here's one more record that I felt that was a little bit better than this one. You know, this is, if I didn't hear the record, the next up on my list, this would probably be the death metal record of the year. But let's move right along to the next one.
Yeah, next one. And you already mentioned these, and I've masturbated over this band a lot of times. So, can you guess who they are?
One Direction.
No.
Oh, it's Justin Bieber, right?
No, not One Erection
damn, so
or
close.
Justin Bieber. No.
Damn it, I'm so close.
You are pretty close. It's Cannibal Corpse, A Skeleton Domain.
Oh, damn it. Oh,
The reason why I put these high on the list is because Sadistic Embodiment, that song alone, I just kept listening to and it had replay value. So I am kind of just basing this on mainly how I feel.
Fire up the chainsaw.
Exactly, and it's just
that video was fucking awesome.
I didn't actually watch the video.
Brutal.
I need to see that.
Oh my god! And see him do that song live. It was awesome. They did that song. It was like, oh my god, Pitt was insane for that song.
It would be. I mean, it's fucking Cannibal Corpse, isn't it? If you're at a Cannibal Corpse concert and you're not going fucking mental, there's something wrong with you, and you need to sort yourself out.
That whole show was amazing.
Even if you're disabled and you have no way of moving, you need to do something when you're in the middle of a Cannibal Corpse, you know, mosh pit. You need to do something. Don't just sit there in your wheelchair, you dickhead. Do something. But Cannibal Corpse, A Skeleton Domain. What can I say other than it's just brutal, heavy death metal with, you know, them amazing vocals as well.
Songs, lyrics, you know. They're arguably probably the most top-selling. They are the top-selling death metal band of all time. I mean, they were the first death metal band to be on Billboard Top 200 charts, you know. And there's no radio play for Cannibal Corpse.
They should have. They should have radio play. For the knife.
Actually, one of the radio stations back home, actually, they will play, but it's really late at night. They'll play Cannibal Corpse.
I'm pretty sure
they have like an extreme metal like hour, so they'll play Cannibal Corpse. But I'm saying before that, you know, there's no radio station playing Cannibal Corpse. It's all just word of mouth, you know, getting that name out. You know, they're really cool guys. You know, I definitely can't stress that one enough. They're probably one of my favorite guys to hang out with in metal. You know, so nice, so awesome.
I mean, let's just put it this way: Cannibal Corpse, they were on Ace Ventura back in the day, and you know that alone is amazing. You know, because that film, you know, one of Jim Carrey's best. You know, it's got Alex.
He personally wanted them. It was going to be either Cannibal Corpse or it's going to be Morbid Angel in that movie.
I'm glad he put Cannibal Corpse. I'm glad it was Cannibal Corpse because, you know, I prefer them.
Really, you know. And
maybe
Morbid Angel has even had play on MTV. I've seen a Morbid Angel video on MTV. Cannibal Corpse has never had a fucking video play on MTV.
They should. I think maybe that's what it is because the lyrics people look at to be pretty bad. I just think they're beautiful. I think they're a masterpiece. I think the guy's a genius, and he literally has a great, you know, perspective on life. And I just
really cool guy. Yeah, and his vocals are very unique. You know, both Chris Barnes and George are both amazing vocalists. You know, I couldn't pick one or the other because the vocal styling and the musical styling are two different, you know, monsters. You know, and of course George can pull off all the old stuff, and I'm pretty sure Chris Barnes could do what, you know, George is doing. Absolutely, you know, both of them were amazing vocalists. You know, still both putting out You know, but I mean, it's good in a way because you know we don't have just one good band. You know, we have another band. You know, 6 Feet Under. You know,
Yeah,
and
they
of course,
are.
6 Feet Under has had a lot of hit or miss records. I think Chris Barnes maybe he just smoked way too much weed when he's doing a couple of these albums. For real, but there's a lot of their stuff like their last record was really awesome. You know, I really enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was one of their better ones they put out in the last quite a few years. And of course, they've had some shitty ones, and their original ones were fucking amazing.